Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fathers and Family. I'm Pete Saunders, and we have Dr. Ricketts with us. Today, we're going to be talking about communicating with teenagers. I think especially for us fathers, once they hit that age, it's like we're always bucking heads. We can't seem to get along. What's happening with a teenager, Dr. Ricketts, that's causing all of these conflict?
Well, in recent times, one of a very important thing that we found out based on research here in the States is that the teenage brain is still developing.
Hmm.
Not until they get into their mid 20s that it's at a mature state. So a lot of the craziness that they do, there's actually an explanation for it. And for some reason, teenagers nowadays seem to be much crazier than they used to be.
Mm.
There's a disconnect between parents and the current teenagers. If you really look at it, though, all teenagers are crazy. When we were teenagers, we were crazy as well.
I was thinking, but it's a different type of crazy.
It's a different type of crazy. One of the things we find here, for example, the things that teenagers are using to get high. There
Mm.
was a time when teenagers would use weed or alcohol, but nowadays they're using things like household chemicals,
Oh,
glue,
wow.
D40, nail polish remover, a lot of other things that you would never think about.
Mm.
And even, say, teenagers from the Caribbean who never used to backtalk their parents, we
Right.
find that nowadays it's open season. It's a
So
total.
what are some of the things that have contributed to this change, this difference?
Well, we're in the communication age. Social media has played a significant role.
Hmm. And
Kids are
probably just media
communicating.
in general.
Pardon?
Maybe and probably just media in general as well.
Media in general. So they're getting a lot of mixed messages. The divorce rate has increased in a number of places, which means that a lot of teenagers, they're just going through a lot more, I think. If you
Mm.
look at the world globally, things have changed so significantly, and teenagers have to react to that change. Additionally, teenagers fall into a couple groups. You have the preteens, and then once they become teens, a lot of things are happening in the lives of a teenager. Uh,
Right.
they go through a stage that we call individuation, where they're trying to become their own persons,
Hmm.
developing an identity. And while they're doing that, there are a lot of other things going on. This is when they develop a lot of close friendships. They're learning, they're probably getting their first job. They're learning to drive. If they have a job, they have to think about how to conduct themselves appropriately in the workplace.
Hmm.
They earn money, how to manage money properly, how to balance a checkbook, how to use an ATM card. They're thinking about the future,
Right.
college, career, and so there's a lot going on. And so if you put divorce in that, and going away to school, and all those things, it's just a lot going on in the life of a teenager. And sometimes we parents tend to think, but wait a minute, I provide everything for you. What's your problem?
Hmm.
But there are a lot of problems. They are jumping to a lot of stuff.
So
And
so
so if they can't talk to us, then there's this disconnect. If they can come to you and say, I'm thinking about having sex, or I'm being pressured to smoke weed because you're going to judge them and
mm.
feel that they're bad people, then communication becomes a problem.
Well, share with us some tips then as to how we can communicate with our teenagers.
Well, first of all, one of the things that you have to do is to start from early. If you, from earlier on, have that close interaction with them where you know what's going on in their world,
Hmm.
I think it's going to be easier. You can be distant, and then once they become teens, you're asking them personal things.
Right, right,
It's not going to work.
right.
Secondly, you have to go down to their level and use open-ended questions. Like, for example, you wouldn't ask your teenager, "Did you have a good day at school?" They'd say yes. But if you say, "What was the best part of your day?" or
Hmm.
"What didn't go so well today?" that could open up a discussion. try not to be judgmental,
Right.
to see where they're coming from,
Mm-hmm.
feedback, but at the same time recognize that they have opinions of their own, and their
Right.
opinions to them are very, very important. You don't want them to feel like they are uh, young idiots who don't know anything about the world, and you have more experience, and
Mm.
they need to listen to what you're saying. That's a
And and
big.
and and us parents like to use this line a lot. I wasn't born yesterday. I know exactly what's happening.
Yes, yes. So if you already know why you're asking me, you're gonna tell me what is best anyway, right?
Right.
So there's a tendency for them to rebel, and you see them coloring their hair blue, shaving their head, wearing earrings, tattoos, doing all kinds of things to get a sense of camaraderie, and that's gonna make you say, what's going on, and so they're trying to get our attention all the time, but we're just not listening.
Mm.
And
Wow.
so if you reach out to them and make them know that you're there, and even though you have the experience, you're interested in what's going on in their world, I think they'll open up to you.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Dr. Ricketts. I mean, the biggest thing I personally have taken away is just don't judge them,
Yeah.
and just make them feel comfortable enough to communicate with us.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys were empowered from this episode of Fathers and the Family. You can share your feedback with us, your comments, questions, and we'll see you at the next episode.
Thank you.